Yo, peace and blessings to everybody out there. This is Karev, a Heritage Hip Hop with my mans.
DJ Kawon in the building. Queens in the building.
I go by the name of Seek, not Sec, because people be messing my name up. It's called Seek. I'm representing the Hello Effect podcast, and I'm representing New Jersey, Nook to be exact.
That's right. Seeking knowledge, right? Seeking that knowledge.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are the Mic Council. We are culturally driven with no skips. We do not glaze over hip-hop topics. We talk about the culture. We talk about how it affects you. And most importantly, we represent for the culture because hip-hop is going nowhere, no matter who's in office. Right now, by now, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit the like button, comment, put your comments in here and be a part of the show. Subscribe to whatever channel that you're watching this on, or join all three channels and let's build this culture together. One comment, one idea, one conversation at a time. Gentlemen, how y'all feeling today?
Man, good man. We got past that whack Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Great halftime show in my opinion, but we'll get into that later on another time. And just enjoying life, man. You know, releasing new music. So I'm just living life right now.
Yeah, me, I'm chilling, man. Happy Sunday. And like you said, this year I really wasn't into NFL, to be honest with you. And the Super Bowl, I watched a little bit of it, but I definitely enjoyed that Bad Bunny. You know what I mean? I don't care what he was saying, but he moved me with the energy, the music, the vibe, the culture, and all that. What about you?
I liked it because at the end of the day, I like ladies. So the Super Bowl had a lot of them men out there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the ladies. But I love music. I love culture. And most importantly, I love my people. And Hispanic people are our people. So shout out to the nations and tribes out there that represent with us. And yo, let's talk about something that's culturally driven. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the push on the show called Culturally Driven, where we talk about something that's fueling the culture forward. And I want to start with, well, let's see. You know what? I'm gonna let you start it off because you had a very interesting topic you wanted to talk about. Why don't you take us there?
Which topic? I had a whole bunch of topics to talk about. Which specific one?
You driving the car? I'm in the passenger seat. Let's go.
All right, so y'all want to get into the 50 Cent and T.I versus?
Sure, why not?
Let's do that.
All right, Kawon, what you think about it? You think it's a good matchup?
Oh man, T.I versus 50 Cent for versus. It would have been a great idea pandemic time. You know what I'm saying? When everybody had time to sit and watch it. I personally kind of lost interest in the verses because it got out of Timbaland and Swiss Beats hands when they sold the rights to it. So when you have another entity controlling the culture, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it loses its soul just like anything else. But if we talk about the music and the catalogs, I think it would be I think it'd be interesting because, you know, people probably forgot about a lot of joints that 50 put out, and people probably forgot about a lot of joints that T.I put out over the years. They were heavyweights, man. You know what I'm saying? If for the youth out there who may not be familiar with their catalogs, 50 and T.I had some joints. So I think it'll be dope, but I don't think you're comparing apples to apples because they were two different type of artists. So for me, it's like kind of tough to compare them in that way. It's kind of like I always used to say you can't compare Pac and Big together because they were two different type of artists. Their catalogs were different and what they stood for was different. So to me, it was always apples and oranges. But I think it'll be entertaining. I think both of them are very entertaining. I think they will put on a good show, showmanship for that. So I think that'd be cool. But probably been better if they would have did this at the beginning when they first started doing verses.
It started getting a little ugly though, you know what I mean? I don't know if y'all seen what 50 had put out. He put out when T.I went to testifying on the stand after that shooting and stuff happened, and he was talking about he a king rat. But that's
his
50,
game.
That's what he do. Yeah, exactly.
That tells me that it may be happening because 50, you know how it is, man. He like to
you trying to sell it. I
Yeah.
feel like he's trying to sell it or something like that.
I feel like the paperwork is already signed. It's just a matter of they're gonna drop the bomb here in a little bit and surprise everybody with it.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. What about you, Karev?
I'm gonna keep it real. I don't like verses.
Yeah.
This is not a verses I like. I'm not really into it. I can't. And keeping it real, I think this is y'all gonna hate me for this. I think this is a Southern artist trying to stay relevant.
Mm.
I'm not big on this. I'm gonna keep it real. I love T.I music. Don't get it twisted. I think T.I and 50 will show you just how dope T.I is, but it will show you just how lengthy 50 Cent's catalog is because people are gonna only think about Get Rich or Die Trying and Massacre. They're not going to think about the mixtapes. They're not going to
Mixtape
think
50,
about
yeah.
the G Unit stuff. They're not
Yeah.
going to think about the countless features that 50 got. Because I think, my opinion, I'm not a Southern dude, so I'm not going to be biased. Because, a lot of Southern people think it was East Coast bias. I really think Southern dudes are very biased because we see a lot of Southern OGs trying to stay relevant, popping shit on podcasts. I'm good, yo.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, I thought he was a comedian though. He a rapper again?
That's he cut his hair and went back to being an MC again.
Yeah. Yeah, he tried to do the Jordan and baseball thing, and it just didn't work, yo. So I'm
And
good, yo.
it won't be a good verse because, like you said, it's two different artists. I don't see that they sounds going to, like, yo, play his song, then play this. Nah, I don't
Yeah.
go with each other.
No, it could.
I want T.I and Ludacris.
Nah.
No, yes, maybe they was beefing at one point in time
Yeah, but Ludacris did it already
with T.I.
with Nelly.
Nah, I'm one with T.I.
See?
He can
That's
do it
why
again.
versus ass, yo. I don't like her versus.
Yeah.
Versus is trash. But
Wow.
T.I versus 50 will work, though.
I don't see it, yo. I can't visualize that.
It'll
Come
work.
on, talk to me.
It'll work because they kind of have the same structure, right? You have T.I.'s solo catalog, and then you got T.I.'s crew. What was that? The
PSC.
PSC, right? So he got those you could pull from, and 50 got G Unit.
Shoulder lean,
That's
shoulder
it. Hold
lean.
on. Time out. That's a mismatch. Lloyd Banks is
He won't be there.
mixtapes.
He won't be there.
He gotta come.
He can't. He won't. They beefing. He won't be there.
Nah, it's about the money.
He won't be there.
So we wouldn't have Banks, we wouldn't have Buck.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you won't have the game.
You won't have the game.
But 50 to spite them will probably play their music.
They don't need them.
You just need their verse. You just need his verse. Off
Yeah.
those records.
I just need Lloyd Banks at 50. Tony Yayo no longer stay in the car. Like,
well, Yayo dude's so seductive and he's done for the night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
crazy. He can't play that in this time. You know what I mean? That sounds like one of them. You know, pop PDs, might drink. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nah.
But no, yo, if you really think about it, right? I don't think it'd be a wash, but I could see either one winning depending on what songs are picked, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
20 songs ain't much. But I'm gonna tell you something. What's your top 5 T.I songs or what's your top 5 50 songs that they would have to play?
Man. See, I don't know T.I.'s catalog like that, bro.
What you know about? He got to play that "Live Your Life" with Rihanna.
Mm-hmm.
24s. He gonna have to do that Bone Crusher verse.
Yeah,
and
he killed the Bone
gonna have to do that Ain't Nobody Swagger Like Us. He gonna have to do them. Them was big. Them was huge songs. But he still got a catalog. I just can't think of it right now. But he got a bunch of other songs.
I gotta sit and write it down.
What's your 50?
Oh, he
50. You already know.
What Up Gangsta for sure.
Have a Baby by Me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I get it. What was that y'all called? I get it.
Get money. Yeah. Get money. I get money. Money I got. Yeah. He got to do What Up Gangsta because that's the ultimate album opener. You know what I'm saying?
Mini Man, Wankster, Mini Man. He got a bunch. He got. I smell pussy. Is that you?
Word. He took a mixtape joint, put it on the album. You know.
Word. Y'all right. It might be interesting just because of those type of records that we want to hear personally.
It'll be the song selection, yeah. And we saw that. Yeah. We kind of saw that with when Cash Money and No Limit did it, right? I think we forgot that No Limit had like Mystical, but he wasn't there. So just imagine if he was there to do
Yeah,
his
you
rep. You
right.
know what I'm saying? So,
He he was in jail.
yeah, he locked up. Yeah, so that stuff, and even P's brother's locked up. C Murder, he's locked up. So it's kind of like
Peace
it's a
to
lot
C
Forever.
of
Murder.
forever. Yes,
Forever.
it's a lot of stuff going on where a lot of those catalog records won't get played based off of situations like we say Banks won't be there, Buck won't be there. You know what I'm saying? And
Nah, play
whoever.
their verse. Fuck it. He on a race to it. Play his verse.
True
Let the
that.
crowd sing that shit.
True that.
Get a mic to the crowd. Fuck it.
Yeah, but you know I got Queens bias, so I'm gonna go 50 all day regardless. So you know
Nah,
what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
you.
I got that blind loyalty to the borough. You know what I
I
mean?
think it'd be closer than we think, because I'm gonna keep it real with you. If T.I brought out D Block and they did the Kiss Your Ass Goodbye remix, come on, yo. that would look crazy. If T.I brought out Young Buck and they did the song what he did with Ludacris Buck,
Nah,
Stomp.
that would
it'd be
be
a fight
crazy.
in there.
They do
But
that
that'd be
stomp
crazy.
record, right?
It'd
Yeah,
be a
because I
fight in there, yo. You
That'd be
can't have Young Buck
crazy.
in there. You
All
can't
right,
have
well,
Young Buck in there with 50.
but it would be crazy. Then look, think
50 get
about this.
messy.
Think about this. What if T.I is gonna bring out? He's gonna bring out Trap Music, the album. That's his classic album. That right there. You know, you got King. What you know about that? What about Urban Legend? You don't know me. You know what I'm saying?
He gonna bring out the joint with Beanie Man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? But think about that. Like, I think T.I.'s catalog is very good, because one thing about T.I, he has brilliant hooks. He has great hooks. Like, that's going to get the crowd there. But with 50 got a lot of bass and percussion. So what up, gangster? Right? What if 50 came out with what's that joint? Position of Power.
Yeah.
That beat alone could get the crowd going. Then what if 50 Cent came out with 50 Cent in the house, bad news, like bass in the, I mean,
Piggy
you
Bank.
got-
He could come out there with Piggy Bank. You know what I'm saying?
yo, it's
Word.
so many. Yo, what if he brought out Lil Kim for Candy Shop or something, or Magic Stick or some shit? Like, you never know. So I think the
He
feature,
could bring out Justin Timberlake. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go commercial with it.
I would puke. But it would make for a very entertaining versus. I'm just not in the verses, but
Yeah.
I would love to see it happen though. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Lead that into this though. 50 versus everybody happens online. And right now, we got a whole lot of internet beef going on. 50 versus Faison, J Hood versus Max B. And we had, what's the other one, yo? Damn, it's another one. That's crazy right now.
We had talking about 50 verses.
We got 50 versus Faison. We got J Hood versus Max B. And what's the other internet beef going on right now?
Oh, we had Ja Rule and on the plane.
Ja Rule,
Yeah.
Yo, what y'all think about that, man? What's going on? Oh, before we get into that, shout out to everybody in the comments. My man Pop in here. He said, "What's up?" Shout out, bro. He said, we got Jargamel in here. He said 50 ain't doing it. It's too much of a gamble. 50 ain't trying to take no L's, but 50 got songs. Yeah, if it's not an L for him not doing it, then why would he? But these L's are getting handed out on these internet streets, on these internet beefs, yo. Let's start with the first one. Since we talked about 50, what y'all think about this 50 and Faison love beef, yo?
Explain that to me, because I seen him put Faison Love face on the New Jack City dude. Like, you know what I mean? But I was kind of confused. Because I think Faison said something on the podcast about him or something like that.
Yeah, Faison was on Bag Fuel. Shout out to Esco dude. And Faison said 50 Cent is not a filmmaker. He said he doesn't have the talent to be a filmmaker. He owns a studio, that he does not make the films. That 50 Cent is like a co-producer. He's supplying the place for them. And 50 Cent was like, this guy really thinks he's Big Worm for real. Pull up on me. Let's see if you Big Worm. So then Faison put out 50 Cent is homosexual. He put it out there. He said he had his shirt off with Soulja Boy. He had a weird relationship with another actor. And he said 50 Cent was on a live with an actor while taking a dump. And that made him like pretty gay. You know what I'm saying? And then 50 Cent went back on Faison with what you said with all the memes and stuff, and whatever. And Faison said, "Well, I'm not gonna meme you to death. Just come fight me. Just pull up and let's get it. Matter of fact, let's do it for charity, which means they're not really gonna do it.
They're not going to do it.
So
Yeah.
he said, just pull up on me and let's throw these hands for real, yo. So we got one person saying somebody's not really a filmmaker, and another person saying he believes that he's in this role so hard that he
I
believes
got
it's
you.
bigger.
This is my take on that. You know what I mean? First and foremost, let's not forget 50 Cent is a boxer.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? So you a grown man on the internet inviting him to a fight. So if he putting hands and feet on you, like you can't sue that man. Like, you understand what I'm saying? That's number one. And number two, everybody know 50 Cent is pretty much he feeding people. So you say his name, you gonna get lit. You know what I mean? So I feel like people ain't afraid to say his name because the spotlight is gonna be on him. You know what I mean? And you know we live in a world of content, views, make money. So your shit going viral. Thank you, 50 Cent.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't understand also like why people go against him. You're gonna lose. Like, you understand what I'm saying? And you gotta respect 50 Cent because I'm pretty sure once he first came in the industry, people didn't see this big mogul, what he is now. You know what I mean? And he's still respectfully a shit talker, and he always win his wars. It seems like.
Yeah.
Has he
Yeah.
ever lost any of them?
Yeah.
Who he lost
Yeah,
it to?
exactly.
Rick Ross?
Rick Ross.
You think so?
Because
He
Rick
lost.
Ross still
He
Rick
lost.
Ross still had a career afterward.
Yeah.
So
And he was
that's not a
productive.
loss, though. That's not a loss. What would you call that?
I think he beat them because 50's used to battling people and them their careers falling apart. Rick Ross' career kept going. So I don't say that as a loss.
Fat Joe, Jada Kiss, he did all of them.
They pieced that up and they progressed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they had to piece it up. White flag.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
And
that was it for me.
Plus, I think Rick Ross won that lawsuit too, right? Wasn't that lawsuit involved in all that? So you know what I mean. He got beat.
Okay.
He beat him in the courts. But
Okay.
50 not being a filmmaker, I think he took that opportunity to definitely bring some more attention because I've heard interviews where 50 says, I prefer to do TV shows because you can get more content out of a TV show than a movie. So his preference is to do television shows with episodics, you know what I'm saying, releases. So I don't think he took offense to it, but he's not going to not take the opportunity to get free promotion. And like you said, all right, Faison, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? If this is what you want to do, let's do this and let's make money because I'm sure there's going to be a new season of Power coming out soon, and that's just going to lead right into that. You know what I'm saying?
True. I mean, look, at the end of the day, 50 is a monster because he got a machine and he's petty as hell. He destroyed, well, I didn't say destroyed, but Ja Rule was doing pizza commercials after his beat with 50. He called Meek Miller a shithead, and now he in the Diddy case. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like
50 was in the Super Bowl ad talking about beef, so he turning his pettiness into money. You know what I'm saying?
Steve Stout ran away. You got a whole bunch of people who went up against 50 and they couldn't. Diddy, hey,
Yeah.
like right there, he got a whole Netflix about him.
Yeah.
So
his wins and losses is looking in his favor all the time.
Yeah, he a Hall of Famer. He up there. But let's transition from that. From 50 to his crew. Yayo and Uncle Murder get into an argument with Ja Rule on a plane in first class on a video that was edited and cut from a cell phone that made it look like Ja Rule was a sucker because he said something to them, then he disappeared, and then Uncle Murder sat in his seat. But when we saw the uncut footage, Ja Rule was like, "What's up? Let's shake. Let's do it. Me against y'all." He was ready to throw hands on the plane, and Yayo like, "Nah, I like international fights. That's a federal offense." And he was in the feds, right? So he didn't want to go back, and he didn't want to lose his own traveling privileges. So was that doctored to make Ja Rule look funny, or did Ja Rule hold it down to you?
Oh man, yeah, obviously it was doctor, right? Because it's always going to be two sides to the story. Nobody ever really talked to anybody else who was on that flight either. I think what they said, they removed Ja Rule from the flight because he was getting a little extra. Shit, it was literally fight or flight. You know what I'm saying? For that, I don't think Yayo and Murder would have did anything physically with them. I think they just wanted to agitate them so they can get that footage that they got. And it's just one of those. And this is a real beef. This ain't no industry beef. This is like legit between 50 and Ja. This is like dudes got killed behind this stuff. Dudes got assaulted. Dudes got blackballed or attempted to blackball people from their career. So it's real. It's real beef. But I think it was kind of corny on Murder and Yayo's part. You know what I'm saying? Because they damn near 50. You know what I'm saying? And they still doing this. You know what I mean? Like you could have acknowledged Ja being there and just left it at that, and just been like, yo, we're gonna live the fight another day. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna do this here on this plane with all these other people. You know what I'm saying? Because that could have risked that plane not taking off. That could have risked a whole bunch of other stuff, like you said, federally, where it could have been messier than it should have been based on some corny ass rap beef. So I think it was a little immature, but they definitely tried to make Ja look like a sucker, and they wanted to antagonize him as best as they can.
Nah, that's a fact. I just want to say this, like that's pretty much the entire hip hop community. You know what I mean? They 50-year-olds acting crazy, talking about each other on podcasts. You know what I mean? Chatting like women. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Far as that, they had to do something regardless because you never knew who was on that flight and it was going to record them not doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real beef. But one thing I want to point out, I respect Tony Yayo because I feel like he growing up. You know what I mean? Because like you said, he been in the feds, he did that shit. But I seen an interview where he said like, "Yo, what Karev said, I'm not risking not flying again. I'm enjoying life right now." But that's like if you see somebody that slaps your little brother, you gonna be like, "Yo," no matter where you at, no matter if you in the back of your mind, you're not gonna do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But that's who they are, man. They're gonna be 60 doing that shit probably. You know what I mean? We just gotta make sure the younger generation not following that shit. That's all I gotta say on that.
Look, let me be honest with y'all about something. Uncle Murder is the reason why all this stuff popped off.
I was about to say,
Because look, if you look at the uncut footage, Ja Rule got on the plane. He sat in front of him and said, "What up, fellas?" Uncle Murder said, "You go suck that punk ass Ja Rule." And Ja Rule turned around and said his part. They got up, and then, Ja Rule, let's shake. What's up? And then he threw the pillow at him. That's when they said Ja Rule was soft because he threw a pillow at him and knocked his hat off. And Uncle Murder sat in his seat. But the wackest thing about this whole thing, why? It was smart that they used it for promotion for their podcast. Mm-hmm. Uncle Murder, Tony Yayo's podcast is funny as hell, right? But the wackest thing about that is Yayo went to Vlad to talk about it before he did it on his own podcast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? That's perfect for you. That's great marketing. And he gives the exclusive to Vlad?
Yeah. He's still learning the game, bro.
Vlad probably gave him that bag. That's what.
It ain't worth it. He had his own platform. And the best part about it is he bought the pillow to his own podcast to throw it at the camera. Tony Yayo is exactly what hip hop needs. I'm telling you, he was a star from that Drink Champs episode. Mm-hmm. And I'll pray, because as much as I hate rappers having podcasts, people don't really see him as a rapper. I hope Tony Yayo runs with this lane forever. Because he
got stories, bro. He could tell a story.
And the way he tells them, but don't go selling your story to Vlad, bro. Come on, man. Like, I don't know. And shout out to Uncle Murder, because people only think about Murder for the wrap up. They don't think about him for anything else. Now that he has this look, I'm interested to see what Murder will talk about. But the biggest question I have with all this, since Kawon has a Queen's bias, who did you rock with, G Unit or Murder Inc?
G Unit.
I was G Unit, yeah. I was G Unit.
Oh, everybody sleep on Ja Rule.
No. I was a fan of Ja when the debut album came out. It's when he started kind of when the J-Lo effect started happening and all of that. When he started going a little extra pop on me, that's when I was kind of like, I'm out, bro.
But every thug needs a lady.
Yeah. Because I was down with Ja when him and Geronimo was rocking together, Mike Geronimo. You know,
Cash Money Click.
So that's when I was on Ja, because I knew about him back then. So when the debut album came. Well, I'll take it back. The debut album came out, and then they was trying to do the original Murder Inc. with him, Jay, and DMX. I was like, yo, this is gonna be fly. You know what I mean? But then that commercial success started happening, and I was like, all right, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I was always a fan of 50, man. I love what he did after he got shot, because his records prior to that, when he was with Trackmasters, they was all right. But when he got the shooting thing, that's when he got a little bit more gritty, and that's when I was like, yeah, this dude is like the Terminator right now.
You like 50 when he was rocking with Onyx?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
love,
yeah.
love,
Nah, he was,
yeah.
That was a dope record too. Because they was like they was playing hockey, right? And they had the Onyx. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Hey, yo, let me say one thing about Uncle Murder before we move on. I want to say shout out to Uncle Murder because he been grinding for a long time, man, since the mixtape days, since K Slate days. Like, I remember him and Papoose was beefing. I mean, that's why I respect people like Papoose, Mano, and Uncle Murder, because it's people that came from they same year. They ain't around no more, and they've been through all that shit, and look where they at now. So shout out to Uncle Murder, man, because I know he getting that bag, that tour money now. You know what I mean? Traveling the world. You know what I mean? So shout out to him.
But if you're talking about the mixtape era, right? What about J Hood? Now J Hood is an artist from the D Block camp who unfortunately is not in D Block anymore. And Max B, fresh out, released a project with French Montana, his homie. You know what I'm saying? They he put out a story on a podcast of an incident where J Hood got into an altercation and got embarrassed. And now I don't understand. Can y'all elaborate on that?
Yeah, so pretty much I seen a clip from a podcast, an unknown podcast. I don't even know their name. You know what I mean? And the clip was like Max B just talking about J Hood. I'm like, yo, first of all, I was confused. I'm like, yo, what he do to you that make you even talk about him?
Yeah.
And pretty much the situation was, that was around the time where J Hood was beefing with D Block, and he was around dragging a chain and disrespecting and saying all this bunch of stuff. And he had a show with Max B, and J Hood wound up getting an altercation with somebody that was in a crowd with 3 people. And the way Max B was telling the story, he was saying that it was somebody from the D Block camp that did that to J Hood because he was disrespecting D Block. And you know what I mean? And I was just kind of confused, no matter what the situation is. If I'm a person that's interviewing you, why the hell I'm asking you about another damn man? Like, but J Hood, he spoke about it. He was kind of confused, but he admitted that these things happened to him. But he said it ain't had nothing to do with Sheik Lucha and them. It was fans of D Block that pretty much, you know how they do. These fans want to make a name and stuff like that. So they wound up doing what they did. You can find the video. It's on YouTube unless they took it down. This happened many years ago also. But J Hood spoke about it. Then he went on, I believe, Shade 4-5 and did a interview, and he did a freestyle about, like, I guess he's trying to get lit. He looking at it as like, this man is talking about me, so I'm gonna get lit. But I don't think nothing happening when it comes to that.
That's the sad state of New York hip hop, everybody. Yeah. You gotta get somebody gotta talk about you. You put out a freestyle to people to talk about y'all. Yeah. Drums Rugged is in the building. Peace to Drums Rugged. What's up, homie? Keep it rugged out right now. Dope song, dope video. Check out that interview on Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, by the way. Yes, but y'all, I think internet, the podcast world has become so corny. Like I mean, everything you hear is about stories. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just went to a event with DJ Drewski. Shout out to the movement, DJ Drewski, and Rod Digger. Shout out to the queen of New Jersey hip hop, Rod Digger. And I asked them a question, and the question was, what can we do to bond radio and podcasting together so we can keep the culture alive and help break artists and keep that going, and we can help groundswell the culture so it's not forgotten? And their answer to me was just horrible, to be honest with you. It was like, well, that's what we're doing now. Because we have drink champs and things like that, people get to tell their stories. And that doesn't break artists or is a groundswell for artists. And I think with especially this area, the East Coast area, the more and more I see artists get podcasts, not only do I think it destroys the podcast power for the unknown to become known to hold up the culture, it takes a certain clout away from not clout. It takes a certain a genuine love for the culture away because now it's popularity versus purpose.
Mhm.
And with these beef stories, it's popularity versus purpose. I seen I seen Method Man talk on Math Hoffa. Shout out to Math Hoffa and Method Man. I seen him talk about how he had an issue with the Juggalos and somebody hit him in the head with a soda.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'd rather perspective be given because he gave perspective. It wasn't a clout chase. I'd rather perspective than rappers having a podcast and talking about this that they know and then shit on everybody that's not in the not in the business or the game as they say, and then take away the power of the voice of the people who love this culture. What do y'all think about that, or am I bugging? Because I think podcasting is going to be an essential part of moving the culture forward, but we don't have proper we don't have a proper structure or setup to make it so where we're compatible with other parts of the game. I think people still look at it as an outside or a alternate to the game. What do y'all think?
Oh man, I'm gonna speak from inside knowledge I had years ago and all of that when it comes to that. So radio, we all know radio is kind of in a weird space. So a lot of these radio brands have been packing it up, selling each other off, and what they're doing is they're taking the talent, top talent of each station, and basically creating those podcast space on so they can still have the personalities. Because podcasting and radio are two different things. Like radio is radio. You can play the music, you can talk to the artists and all that stuff. And the podcast is supposed to be kind of like the bonus piece where you get that extra 10 to 15 minutes of an interview that they would air on the radio for the exclusive rights and all that kind of stuff, right? So radio was kind of dying off in its traditional way since, and now everybody's creating these podcasts, and I think the lines are getting blurred a little bit. Where people thinking podcasting and radio is the same thing when it's not. Right? Radio is meant to break artists. Podcast is meant to have the conversation with the artist, but people are confusing the two. The closest thing I've seen to music being broken on the podcast is when Fat Joe and Kiss did it when the Mobb Deep situation happened where they was playing the exclusive record. I think that's dope. You know what I'm saying? To do it like that and you still have access to that artist and get to interview him and stuff like that. That's how I would want to see the game go when it comes to breaking artists and podcasting and all of that. But I'm also a traditionalist too, and I love radio, man. I love the mix shows, I love the DJ personalities, and I love that. Um, it's so flooded now. It's just like everything else now in the entertainment space and social media. Is everybody think they can do it by just getting a mic, you know what I'm saying? And everybody feels like they're qualified for it to do it. And it's tough to do it, man. It's tough to do this, and it's tough to do what we do every week because we go through the chats every week trying to put a show together, and we only been kind of been doing this for about a few weeks as a crew, and it's not as easy as people think it is. But when you have that, if you're Nori and you're Joe and you're Kiss, you got all those years of in the game to kind of feed off of to kind of build your brand, and it makes it a little tougher for our type of podcast where we just want to talk about the culture in the right way and respectfully. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have to be disrespectful just to get clicks and stuff like that to get attention. Like we don't, and it's and everybody in New York is doing it now too, bro. So it's it's kind of like I get tired of seeing these MCs, doing this, man. I'm like, just make a record, bro. Let's do records and let's go from there. So, but I get it though. It's an extension of their brand. It's an extension of them trying to get up from under the labels and create their own, um, world, create their own financial situation. So I get it. I just wish that they kind of would really marry it to with the music too, so we can kind of have a little bit of both and be spoiled that way.
See, what you
I
got?
I just want to speak on like far as like the podcast people that's not celebrities, like on our level. We gotta just focus on being the best on our level. Like we can't compete with them because it's like an indie trying to compete with a major label. It is impossible. Like you understand what I'm saying? So I feel like your audience will come to you. It'll take time. You just got to be consistent and you got to be able to deliver quality content. Like you understand what I'm saying? That's that piece. far as like these rappers doing podcasts, I really don't enjoy it. At first, I did like during the pandemic and stuff like that, because a lot of them funny, like i.e. Tony Yayo, DJ Khaled, Rick Ross. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of people that's actually funny. But this shit that they putting out right now is pretty much old war stories. We don't give a fuck about what happened 20 years ago. Like, you understand what I'm saying? We don't care about who snitched on who and all that shit. Nah. Like, like before the podcast even happened, like when they start giving these celebrities social media, I feel like it started destroying their brand because you really got to see who they really were as a person. And I'm really big on that when it comes to connecting with an artist. Like I want to know who you is as a person, you know what I mean? Because I want to believe your lyrics type. That's how I grew up, you know what I mean? So, and I feel like another thing too, these artists is starting their own podcasts so they don't have to go on interviews. You know what I mean? Because think about an interview. I can ask you whatever. You do your own shit. You can say whatever. So you in a safe space. Like, you understand what I'm saying? But you still getting seen. And also, that's where them dollars at. And once you start getting that traction, them sponsor people don't give a fuck. You Jim Jones, you whoever. That's my piece on it.
Yeah, them podcast dollars are drying up too, though. You know what I'm saying? Because they getting bought up by the big brands too. So Spotify, I think Netflix is starting to buy up podcast platforms now. So that everything's getting consolidated too. So everybody's just like the labels. Everybody's trying to get a deal now when it comes to podcasting, and it's wild, man. It's wild.
And that's a fact. Oh, I forgot about the radio piece. The radio piece, we need to get back to the radio because, like Karev said, podcast and radio. Oh, like you said, rather, like podcast and radio is two separate things. Like, you understand? Radio focus on breaking the records, we hear the records and stuff like that. A lot of these podcasts, they doing songs you already heard already. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, do it in studio. No, break real records. Like, and they ain't trying to do that because it's too much work. You got to deal with the labels and all these politics and shit like that. So they'd rather have some shit that you already got out and things like that. But I think we should get back to the radio for sure, for sure.
Well, let's go to Drums Rugged. Drums Rugged says everybody does not need his podcast. Simply put, most of them are just getting podcasts just to be getting them. It's like a trend to getting a podcast. Everybody else doing it. Let me get one too.
That's
agree.
True.
I agree. But see, here's something that bothers me about the podcast community that are celebrity driven. I'm from the East Coast. Shout out to the East Coast. Shout out to my brother Kawon from the East Coast. So one thing I'm gonna tell y'all about the East Coast, especially New York people they ride their own sticks. These guys are egotistical nutballs. I'm gonna keep it real with you, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When you have a known celebrity have a podcast, it's no disrespect to them though, because I'm not doing that. What it is that they're living off the past, and like you said, trading war stories. I ain't nothing wrong with that. Fine, give me your perspective. That's what makes Fat Joe a star. He's been around so long, he has a lot to talk about. I'm not mad at that. Mav Hoffa having one. It doesn't bother me because battle culture should have a representative. And that's a perfect platform for somebody who's in battle culture and who could go into the main.
But he ain't talking about, but he not talking about battle rap on it. He talking about what everybody else talking about.
Well, that comes with what you said, one that I agree with the war story thing. And I get it. I understand, I get it. But the problem with New York and the podcasting thing is New York hip hop is so gatekeeped and greedy that they're not pushing new artists and they're pushing themselves through a podcast, which means sooner than later, they're going to be selling their own music through their own podcast. And that's the purpose, is just to keep making money. I'm waiting for the Griselda podcast next. I'm just waiting to see who's going to be next, because all it seems like is all the I don't want to say burnt out, washed up people, but all the people who are old school are now going to be the podcasters. And that's corny. Memphis Bleak got one. Mano, Jim Jones, Fabulous. Davies got one. You got Yayo and Murder. You got Kiss and Joe. You got Mav Hoffa. I just want to know who's next. Joe Button. I always want to know who next. And look, they're doing a phenomenal job. I'm not doing disrespect them. Shout out to $1 million worth of game, Drink Champs, all of them. They're doing their thing, right? That's in this area. Who's the head podcaster in the South? Because they do have podcasts, and what I hate The people from the South are so mad at people still up here that now you got Sleepy Brown talking about how Biggie was dissing Outkast in the Big Papa video. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, if that really was that, why ain't Outkast say that years ago? Why are you bringing up some new shit, especially if Biggie dead and can't say nothing?
Yeah,
That's bullshit.
If you watch Revolt, they have a couple of Southern Atlanta-based podcasts on their show, and every time I watch, I'm like, how did these people get a show, man? Because it's not informative. It's just like you said, it's trading war stories, like you said, or it's just the guests they have on there. They're damn near incoherent. I can't understand what they're saying, and it's they could be doing better stuff with their time and money and energy. But I know if you watch Revolt's platform at night, they usually have some of the southern-based podcasts on there, and I'm assuming these people are like they were big. I think DJ Scream. I think he's one of the podcasts that has one. But other than that, I don't know who these people are. But like, it's all the same, man. It's just a bunch of war stories, a bunch of stuff like
Drama,
that. So, drama,
ghetto,
bunch of
ratchet stuff.
Yeah, basically.
But my thing is, even with that substance, like I said, like you hear Gip talk about how everything in New York is horrible and the West and the South was great. And don't get me wrong, he gives people their props, but sometimes they get too crazy. And it's opinion based. Now, Gip would tell you Jay-Z was never the man, Pac was the man. Beyonce would have been with Pac if Pac was still alive. We don't know that, and I don't want to hear that bullshit because actually all it is stirring up drama, and I'm not really with that. And then if you think about the West Coast, who's the head podcasters on the West Coast? Because for what I know, Sway is on the East Coast. And then you got Big Boy, and he's a radio person, not really a podcast. Glasses Malone got a dope podcast.
Yeah.
Justin Hunt, the homie. Shout out to Justin Hunt, the company man. He has a podcast. I mean, my thing, but he doesn't count because he's not really industry. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't have that. Gangster Chronicles, I guess. MC8 and Homeboy. Like, and I don't know, like, and their podcast is good too, but the thing that bothers me with the podcast game is if you're not someone who was in the industry in the 90s, it seems like nobody's really paying attention to your podcast.
Absolutely.
Look at our three podcasts. We have great podcasts, and all three of us do something different. It's this superpowered show that got the world watching that's going to make everybody pay attention. That makes us amazing. But even with what we do, we're going against superpowers. I think you were invisible. Somebody online. I hear somebody in the what's that? But even with that, think about this, y'all. Let me put it out here like this. There's people who are more pronounced in this space that don't even get the respect they deserve. Shout out to Doggy Diamonds. Shout out to Justin Hunt. Shout out to it's upcoming people now. I mean, some people could go rock with Bootleg Kev and them, and my man on Soren Baker. Y'all like Soren Baker? So I mean they do a good job. I ain't gonna front. But it's hard when you're heritage hip hop and you're talking about the culture that you love, and then an artist like Fat Joe, no disrespect, will be like, y'all bums. Y'all ain't been in the game like us. We got all the views, but you have no substance. Like that right there is just, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to ramble. What y'all think, man?
Now I feel like at the end of the day, they're not doing it for the love of hip hop. They're doing it for a money grab. You know what I mean? Like them people done took, and they continue to take. You know what I mean? That's why me personally, I don't watch none of this shit because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm in the podcast space. You know what I mean? My mind is focused on what I'm doing on this side. I don't give a fuck about that nonsense and war stories. At the end of the day, we all got war stories. We got uncle, aunts, friends. I don't want to hear that shit. Like I want to spread the knowledge of hip hop before they try to erase that shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do my part. I don't give a fuck if my shit do 10 views, 200,000 views. I'ma still do it because it's something I love. You know what I mean? And we just gotta stop supporting them. That's simple. I don't give a fuck what's happening with them. If they pass away, that's different. Let me know. You know what I mean? I can send my condolences in. But yo, see, it's a new episode. I don't give a fuck. That's my take on it.
Yeah, man. I can't sit and watch 3 hours of Nori interrupting guests, you know what I'm saying? When they in pocket with a good story, or I can't sit and watch Joe and Jada and Joe capping all day. You know what I'm saying? It's not it's not the best use of my time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like stuff like this is the best use of my time because we talk about some real stuff that affects us on the everyday, you know what I'm saying? So, we just got to keep doing what we're doing and it's going to grow. As long as we stay culture driven, I think we good. But it's like I said, everybody's treated like TV. They just want to get to the 100 episodes so they can get the syndication money. That's all they doing, man. They're just trying to throw numbers up just so they can have so many episodes under their belt and they can sell it off to the highest bidder. Because that's all they want to do, man. They're trying to make their money back from the '90s and the early 2000s when they got jerked by the label. So they figure this is the next big thing to get that money back.
Yo, before we go on, my sister's in the comments. Shout out to Harmony Equality. Peace, peace. We got Candid House photo that says they have a lot of stories and they just want to put it out there. It's fact. Harmony says she retiring. Please don't. We need you, sis. She said people like to latch on to others. I'm a builder, so I build. Exactly. I think a lot of people nowadays, and we're learning how to be socially responsible and emotionally responsible. A lot of people who follow these artists are trauma bonding. They went through something, and those are the people whose music got them through something. So they just continue to latch on to the things that are attached to those negative or those growth moments that they have. I'm not mad. That's being a fan. You know what I'm saying? There's people who I wish had podcasts that don't. And I think we're fulfilling that space for the people who will go out there and try to find them. And, it's there. If y'all who don't know, this platform is built upon 3 podcasts. The Hello Effect podcast by Seek, my brother over there. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Whether he's going out to find artists or he's meeting established artists or going to events, he knows how to sit down and have that conversation that's necessary. You got DJ Kawon right here, Kawon J Media, who not only puts out music, has artists under his belt, Boom Bap alumni, salute. He also has a mixtape show, and he podcasts. And me, I'm just the little guy here.
Nah.
I'm the knowledgeable dude. I just like to do research. I like to learn. I like album covers, lyrics, beats, sequencing, and I ask the questions that people are scared to ask. So if you like that, you got 3 podcasts right here, but 3 podcasts that make up the Mic Council. Culturally driven conversation with no skips. Because personally, if you don't like what we say, we don't give 2 shits. We're going to say it.
Absolutely.
That's a fact.
This is the space. This is the space where we get to speak, man, and I'm gonna enjoy that. Right?
Notes 82, what up? So fellas, speaking about people talking and us not really giving a shit about what they're saying, Gene Simmons of the Kiss band, the Knights in the Satan Society, if y'all didn't know what that Kiss meant, that's what it meant. The drummer from Kiss, guitarist from Kiss, Gene Simmons said, hip-hop does not belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a controversial topic because Black culture permeates everything. And hip-hop is a derivative of everything. So hip-hop has contributed to every culture, if not rock and roll culture. And for hip-hop to not be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a very interesting topic because I kind of agree, yet kind of disagree with him. And I would like to know what my compatriots say. Gentlemen, what do you say?
I'm gonna unscreen my screen because
my response is short and sweet. You know what I mean? I just feel like end of the day, there's no secret. I know my man, he's a racist. That's number 1. And number 2, hip hop should have his own Hall of Fame though, like respectfully. You know what I mean? But for him to say it don't belong there, your first point. This whole music thing belongs to us, our culture. Like at the end of the day, so we everywhere, and I'm just keep it like that. I don't want to get upset tonight.
All right, Jimi Hendrix, Chuck Berry, James Brown, Fats Domino, right? Who else am I thinking about? LaBelle. Actually, LaBelle, Kiss's manager loved LaBelle's outfit so much they wanted to hire their outfit designer to design Kiss's outfits. We can go on and on, man. Rock and roll culture, rock is a piece of rock and roll because we got the roll right. I heard Chuck D say that. That was pretty brilliant when he said that. Um, we our culture has helped the foundation of what current rock music is. I've even heard the drummer from I don't want to get the band wrong, but I want to say somebody like a Green Day or something like that. He said he stole his drum no from Nirvana. He said he stole his drum patterns from James Brown's drummer. You know what I'm saying? So the culture is there, man. The influence is there. It's just that, like everything else, things get hijacked. Things get you know taken from us and not given a credit due. And we get to this point where now they're saying we don't deserve to be in something that we helped build. You know what I mean? Which is very unfortunate. And hip hop, it's probably one of the only cultures where we could take everything and make it hip hop. You can't do it. You can't reverse that. You can't reverse engineer rock and country together, or you can't reverse engineer that other stuff. But hip hop, you could take all those elements of those other musics because our DNA is in all of it, and we can make it funky, and we can make it sad, and we can make it fun, and we can turn it into a party based off of that. So, but like you said, we already knew homie who he is. You know what I'm saying? He's at the age where he can say whatever he wants, and people are not gonna bat an eye because oh, he's a legend in rock and roll. But we know what's going on with that, so I don't think we need to spend too much time on that.
Let notes add in. Notes 82 said facts. We are the culture in anything you could think of. We are the ones who everybody wants to imitate. Yes, but let's build a little deeper on this because I'm not gonna let him get away with this because we're not gonna be easy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put somebody on blast. What's the most important instrument, gentlemen, in hip hop?
Outside of
Drums.
voice,
There you
Drums.
go. Yeah, I mean, drums are in every part of music. So then you can say, well, drums are in rock music, drums are in hip hop, but hip hop should not be there. Let's look at every example of rock and roll and hip hop merging. Run DMC for one is an example of that. LL Cool J in that. Public Enemy in that. Cypress Hill in that. Matter of fact, what dictates rock and roll? Because if you can do your music in front of a live band, it would be considered rock music. And if the Roots can't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, what credibility does keeping rock music accessible? What credibility does it have to keep it accessible? And why would the Hall of Fame be necessary? Because just about any and everybody they put in there has stolen music from Black culture. So why should not hip hop be there if hip hop just reclaimed something that was stolen anyway to create drum patterns that inspired new cultural influence to make younger people study music, if they do, and create new patterns of music to entertain the masses. And that's all y'all did. I remember in the Five Heartbeats, didn't the Five Heartbeats have an album and then it was whitewashed and then the album music was accepted? That's sort of like hip hop today. So how does it not follow the same formula in which we're talking about right now? Because I'm gonna keep it real. We do deserve a hip hop Hall of Fame. Matter of fact, there's 3 of them. Did y'all know there's 3 hip hop Hall of Fames?
I know we got the hip hop museum popping, but that's not a Hall of Fame, though, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's considered a Hall of Fame.
Because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has a museum. Yeah. So think about this. We have 2 hip hop museums. One is corporate driven and one is community driven. You got one in DC and they're trying to put up one in New York, right? But you also have the foundation, the Paid in Full Foundation that Nas is doing, where they're having inductees. So that's like a Hall of Fame. So we are getting what's ours. The fact that people want theirs and to not have us in it further goes to show you that Stephanie Mills was right when she said they want Black music, they just don't want Black people doing it. It just goes to show you how dangerous Timbaland's AI can be because they want Black music, they just don't want us to do it. It goes to show you how dangerous K-pop can be because they want Black boy band music, but they don't want Black boys or Black girls doing it. And now K-pop has rappers in it now too. doing roots type music. So at the end of the day, it goes, thank you. It goes beyond racism. It goes into cultural identity being culturally driven and not skipping the people who made your culture possible. So the Gene Simmons, fuck Gene Simmons, fuck Kiss. I don't care nothing about their music. But most importantly, I'm hip hop. And whatever you say, I'm gonna stand for me, I'm gonna stand for my people, and I'm gonna stand for my culture because hip hop is God culture. We are hip hop people, and if we are God's people, the God's people is hip hop. Our heritage is hip hop, and we're gonna give God what was here before some people picked up a guitar and copied. Because we had ciphers back when we was on the we had ciphers back when we was doing rain dances. We had ciphers where we were singing the gods around fire. We had people blaze, right? We had peace pipes when we would break bread from a meal. The meals were given when we praise God. We eat when we around family now at the barbecue playing what? Our music. So at the end of the day, you can have whatever opinion you have. You are right to have your opinion. That is your mind. Just know that all minds aren't sound. Unsound minds is sick. And the only way to give a sick mind a remedy is to give it truth. And we are the truth here on the Mike Council every Sunday live at 8 p.m. for your viewing pleasure. I don't think there's nothing else I got to say after that.
Nah, you good. You good on that one.
Dropping the mic on Gene Simmons and Kiss. Hey, yo, send that to Chuck D. Salute, Chuck.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Fellas. I think we had a good episode, but let's talk something. What's in your rotation right now? Let's start with C. What underground, independent, or artist do you want to highlight this week that has out something new that you would like for people to check out?
Speaking of Queens, I rock with this artist. His name Fame. He's on Instagram. He's from Southside Jamaica, Queens. 50 Cent, Rochdale Village. We'll check him out, man. Dope artist. He's spitting that something with substance. You're gonna feel him. And that's pretty much what I want to highlight this week. Next Sunday, I got somebody else.
Kawon, what you got, bro?
I'm gonna do self promotion, man. Myself, my brother up in Canada, Lindor, and my man from South Florida, Travesty, the Lazy MC, dropped a project on Friday called Chain Reaction. I did all the production on it, man. It's dark, it's funky. Lynn got a joint for the ladies. It's some sounds that you probably haven't heard, you know what I'm saying, before. And this is me partnering up two really dope MCs to put a project together, man. And I think we knocked it out the ballpark. So go check out Chain Reaction. It's out there on the streams if you want to hear it. We got it out on Bandcamp. It's available on djkawonmusic.com. And the things are coming. It's coming in now. Some good reviews on it so far. So we got 2 videos out for it already. We got about 2 or 3 more to go. And I'm working on a nice little animated video too for one of the joints off of there. So it's gonna be fun, man.
That's peace, yo. I'm with that, yo. Shout out to the crew, the Boom Bap alumni. The album is fire, yo. I heard
Appreciate it.
The album is fire. And one thing I'm gonna tell you, Travesty got him and Lindor's voices are totally different. And when y'all hear it, you love hip hop and that boom bap sound, you will appreciate it. It's a dope album. Shout out to the White Man Can't Jump cover as well. You know what I'm saying?
It's so many entendres just off the album alone. It's fun, man. It's fun.
It's a dope project. Shout out before I give mine. Shout out to Harmony Equality and the 17th Cypher. If y'all don't know about the 17th Cypher, go check her out. Sis, we want you on the show.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Your artists, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, shout out. What's my man name? Mar. Mar is dope, yo. I like Mar a lot, yo. So
and Lamb Capital too.
Yeah, talk
Fire
about
too.
it. Hey, yo, we need y'all back on our podcast. Hey, sis, make it happen. Bring your artists to our individual podcast so we can
Send
make
them
some
my way.
noise.
Send them my way.
We want them all on all our podcasts. Hey, fellas, artists, ladies, if you do all 3 of our podcasts, that means you have more content to build yourself.
Let's get it.
Make sure you come to our podcast and build your stuff. You know what I'm saying? I want to give a shout out before I give mine one time. I'm sorry. Rest in peace to Mike C. Mike C passed away. Yesterday was his funeral, and I was able to go pay my respects to Mike C. And if you would have seen how many people came out, it was a beautiful thing. And I hate that artists have to die to get their flowers, you know. And most people might have loved him, but the love that he got was amazing. And I want to give a shout out to everybody who knows the truth about New Jersey hip hop. And Mike C is one of them voices that inspired not only East Orange and North, but just some of your favorite artists. Mike C was that man, and it was an artist who's quoted as saying, if Mike C would have gotten to the industry and had a fair chance, a lot of the people y'all love today will not be y'all favorite MC. And I feel the same way, not only about Mike C, but about Shaw Skills. So my artist, on a deathbed request, Shaw Skills asked me to put out his music. And this week was the summation. Yesterday was the summation of the first part. If you go to Double S Shot Skills on YouTube, you'll see the Black Love playlist where we asked women, what is Black Love? And they gave us answers. And it led to the freestyle, Black Love, Our Legacy by Shot Skills. So that's the song and the person I'm listening to right now. We're going to promote Shot Skills, my man's, my teacher, one of my best friends. I love you and I miss you, bro. We're going to do that. And to all artists out there, keep sending us your music. We're going to talk about you and salute you when your music come out. The Mike Council is not here only to talk about Mike House is not here only to talk about what's in the mainstream. We're here to celebrate independent and underground artists and everyone alike. So with that being said, final word. See, go.
Yeah, I want to say something real quick. I don't know if we got enough time, but
We got it.
why Mike C never got on? What happened? If he was this lyrical guy, like what happened? What's the story behind that if you know it?
And that's something we'll talk about on another episode, if not on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Because unfortunately, with your New Jersey and with New York, well, music period. I can't just say our area, but with music period, sometimes people's vices take control, and sometimes ego destroys a person's journey as well. And
I got it. Okay, I got it. My final words is make sure you stay true to yourself. You know what I mean? Make sure you stay focused. Make sure you love people and respect people, man. We need more of that, more positivity. You know what I mean? You can still be fun and positive. I'm positive, but I live a great, amazing, fun life, man. But I live a positive life. Another thing, follow everybody, social media, like, subscribe, share, and we'll sure to love back. Much love and respect.
Kawon.
Yeah, man. In the spirit of the Super Bowl halftime show, man, get out there and learn some new things about different cultures. You know what I'm saying? Talk to somebody that you may not be familiar with, that's not of your culture, and learn some things, man. It's a beautiful thing when you do that. I can say I'm proud looking through the eyes of my kids. It's my son, man. He has a rainbow coalition of friends, man. It's a beautiful thing to see that when he's just talking and they don't see color. They just kind of hang out because that's the homie. You know what I mean? So let's take that mentality as adults too and just learn something new, man. Let's not be afraid of people who are different from us because we can learn a lot from them.
Yo, I don't eat pork, so I'm gonna land back off of that. So all I'm gonna say is love yourself, yo. Hey, pain is universal, but love is relative. And it's a beautiful thing when you can relate to somebody through your joy, not through your pain. Not trauma bonding, but genuine love and respect for each other. Because I'm going to tell y'all, whether you like it or not, we live in a world where people will rather fight you than be one with you. So find your tribe, find your peace, respect it, protect it, but don't be afraid to share it because you are a very important part of this world, and the world is better with you in it than without you in it at all. So, out of respect for the Most High God of heaven and earth, shout out to all my 5% nations, guys of earth. Shout out to my Muslim brothers, my Israelite brothers. Shout out to my Christian brothers, Catholics, all y'all. At the end of the day, we are brothers first, and don't let the concept of God separate you from righteousness, reality, and truth. And one more thing, get the fuck off the internet. Because some of y'all believe this social media shit and it don't be real. Go outside. People really do love each other. We don't need viral hate to make the reality or the lie of that reality real reality. So with that being said, I'm out of here. I hate everything and everybody if it's not heritage hip hop, the Hello Effect, 17 Cypher, Kawon, and real hip hop. So everybody out there, thank you for watching. Peace. And we out.
Real hip hop. Real